Good morning, everybody. Chief James Essick, Chief of Detectives. With me is Assistant Chief Mike Baldessano. From Special Victims Division, Lieutenant Vic Parabello, who's chairing this investigation, Detective Stephen Clark, Detective John Ovetti, Detective Chastity Jamie, and Detective Sean Conway. So I'm going to update you on 3 sexual assaults that occurred in the Riverside Park on the Upper West Side of Manhattan this week. The first incident occurred on Tuesday, July 18th at 4:40 p.m. inside Riverside Park at West 79th Street to West 80th Street. A female was approached by a male Hispanic, 5'8", 160 pounds, wearing a blue shirt and black bag. He grabbed her breasts and made explicit statements and fled on a bicycle. Later that evening, at approximately 10 p.m., a female was jogging northbound on the bike path inside Riverside Park at 89th Street when she was grabbed from behind by a male Hispanic, pushed to the ground, and proceeded to pull down her shorts. He made similar explicit statements. The female was able to scream very loud, and the perp got on a bicycle, fleeing northbound on the bike path. He was described as a male Hispanic, 30 years old, wearing blue jeans and a jersey with the number 40 on its back. The third incident occurred on Thursday, July 20th, at approximately 4 a.m. at 59th Street and Riverside Park. Our female victim states she was walking inside the park when she was approached by a male who tackled her to the ground. The female attempted to call 911, but our perpetrator took her phone and fled. During the struggle, the perpetrator's chain was removed by the female and recovered by responding police officers. The male was described as a male black with a red-colored shirt, dark jeans, and a multicolored baseball hat with a strong accent. Immediate video canvas shows the male flee on a bicycle. Later that day, the police department chaired a meeting with Patrol Services, Transit, Housing, the Detective Bureau, Community Affairs, and our Intel Bureau. We put together an extensive apprehension and investigative plan to ensure that everybody in the police department and the public had this information. Our Crime Stoppers vans were deployed. We had requests for media out, and we geo-targeted ads were sent out to residents on the Upper West Side, giving them all the information. Based on these similar crimes and the proximity of locations, we believed and treated these incidents as being committed by one perpetrator. Investigators from Manhattan North Homicide, the Gun Violence Suppression Division, and our Manhattan North video collection teams assisted these special investigators, the detectives. At approximately 2:30 p.m. yesterday, during a canvass, detectives observed a male fitting the description of the male wearing a multi-colored hat as the incident which occurred at 4 in the morning at 59th Street and Riverside Drive. That person was taken into custody. During an interrogation, he made incriminating statements, including leaving his chain on the scene and identifying himself on the scene. A search warrant was conducted on his residence, where the complainant's cell phone was recovered, along with the red shirt he was wearing during the crime. A lineup was conducted, and he was identified by the complainant. Placed under arrest is Luke Tachum Nobisi, a male 39 years old with no prior arrests. He was charged with attempted rape in the 1st degree, robbery in the 3rd degree, sexual abuse in the 1st degree, and assault in the 3rd degree. Later that evening, yesterday at 7:30 p.m., our detectives tracked video from the 89th Street and Riverside Park incident to a location, which was 511 West 125th Street, where we observed the perpetrator enter a building. Detectives arrived at the 4th floor, where they observed the male in the video with a similar bicycle, as well as the red number 40 shirt. That male was taken into custody. He spoke with detectives, identified himself in the 2 incidents, plus a third forcible touching incident, which occurred on June 25th at 111th Street and Amsterdam Avenue. A search warrant is pending for his apartment. All 3 victims identified him in a lineup. That person is Jonathan Yahia Cortez, male Hispanic, 21 years old. He is being charged with attempted rape in the 1st degree, forcible touching, 3 counts, sexual abuse in the 1st degree, and assault in the 3rd degree. These investigations, led by our Special Victims Lieutenant Vic Parabello and members of the Special Victims Division, show how complex and thorough these cases become. Nothing is taken for granted, and they followed the evidence to a successful conclusion to take these 2 sexual predators off our streets. With that, I'll take questions on this.
Tina Moore, New York Post.
Hi, Chief. So was this really mostly, video evidence? Is that what really put these to bed so quickly?
Yes, you know, we do a very good job of collecting video. There's no video in the park of capturing the scene, but we mobilized multiple units to assist the Special Victims Division, and we were able to track both perpetrators coming out of the park for a distance, the one from 89th Street all the way up to 125th Street. So, and then, you know, through clothing description and bicycles, and we were able to identify him.
Can you tell us anything about their records? Anything about
Neither of them have records. No prize on either.
Any other questions?
Can you just spell?
Sorry. Samantha, 1010 West. Wait for the mic. Oh, we'll get to the spellings after.
Yeah, just the spelling
We'll
of
get to
the.
the spellings afterward.
Okay, all right. No.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Tom Tracy, Daily News.
Hey, all right, Chief. Real quick, 2 things. Can you talk a little bit about that geolocation alert system?
Yes.
And also, what would you say to the residents of the joggers and the walkers in Riverside Park? Is it safe now to go back there? What would you say to them?
All right. First, in terms of the geo locations, in the past, and we've done this in this location, we would get out flyers. We post them into the residents. We go to community meetings, which we still do. We put out our Crime Stoppers van. But we found with technology, we can send out specific messages or apps to Facebook and Twitter in people in certain zip codes to get that message out. And in this particular case, we didn't have good images to get out to the public, to go through media, but we wanted to get that message out to not only to our police officers, but the residents of that area, to let them know about what was going on. So it's a new technology we've been using, and it gets our message to specific targeted locations. As far as the safety in the park, you know, these are highly unusual case to have 2 separate stranger attempted rapes in a particular location. But I mean, we got that information right out to the public. We got it out to all the police officers. Our Special Victims detectives did such a great job, which within 12 hours, we had one in custody. In less than 48 hours, you had the other perpetrator in custody. So kudos to them to take these 2 serious predators off the street.
All right, if you guys could all just hold, the chief has one more update for you.
All right. Just a quick update on that homicide of the 15-year-old over at the high school the other day. We are, you know, this was the fight between our perpetrator and then another person. A gun was pulled, shots were fired, and an unintended 15-year-old was shot and killed. We are actively looking for a Leopold Nash, male, 17 years old, who lives at 2250 West 11th Street. That's in the Coney Island section of Brooklyn. We're asking for the public's help. If anybody knows his whereabouts or any information on him, they could call us at 577 tips.
All right, everyone, thank you very much.